Suzie Robinson showcases internal communication features of some of the best intranet systems as reviewed in our recent report.
So many of you will be internal communicators, and so the features on offer to help you do your jobs more effectively are highly important. I'm going to mention a few business scenarios and share some screenshots to explain what makes these features so good. So I'm going to begin with your starting point, content creation, where many of the products we saw handled the publishing experience nicely. Whether you're in a centralized news team or a decentralized publishing community, it's vital your tools support what you're trying to achieve. Unilever's example I'll draw on here, which handles the experience well. So let's think about Mercio, one publisher in a community of a few dozen who publishes news stories for the sales department. He publishes news about once every few weeks and has a decent amount of design skill, although he is a fan of multiple font colors and underlining, and we all know people like that. A form or template approach to building the article keep him within company guidelines, while also speeding up a process that's not part of his regular tasks. He also wants a way to get to editing that's not overly complex and be presented with sensible screens that don't overwhelm him with choices about where the article should be stored. Finally, all of Mercio's content is signed off by his boss, Kavita, before it goes live. Both Mercio and Kavita need a simple workflow and approval process to make the feedback and subsequent sign-off process quick and easy. All of these things are something that Unily can deliver. So then there's the actual creation part of the publishing experience, which needs to be simple and support publishers to create attractive pages with engaging content that meet company guidelines. For Mercio, who, remember, loves capitalized yellow font, has a process that will support him with creating consistent pages is really key for him. A drag and drop approach, such as the one in Interact shown here, could be a good approach. This would also allow him to drop in polls, surveys, and multimedia content, gradually building the interactivity of a page. As Mercio only posts every few weeks, he may forget some of the more nuanced training around content creation. The language suggestions feature in Interact will prompt Mercio action if Mercio writes policeman instead of police officer, for example. Sometimes an article isn't enough. For example, whenever sales win a big client, they want to notify the business so everyone can join in the celebration. This is something Mercio can do using notifications and alerts, drawing attention to big stories, or for other departments, this would be useful for something like product recalls, for example. And creating beautiful pages is all well and good, but Mercio needs to make sure the right people see it and at the right time. This is difficult to achieve, but is one of the most asked for capabilities that we receive from clients. Many products now include dynamic audience targeting tools, which means you don't just have to use audience groups defined by Active Directory and potentially by IT. You can choose to create new audiences on the fly. First Up does this well via its orchestration engine, which includes an audience builder that updates the number of people being targeted as the logic is applied. Beyond this, the orchestration engine uses behavioral data to completely automate the timing of the content. Users receive the post at the best time for them and for the priority level of the post they are seeing. They are then reminded to read the post, increasing the chance of reaching them. Most platforms include a variety of channels to reach users too. Desktop, email, mobile, newsletters, and digital signage are the most common. This amount of sophistication allows Mercio to target smaller groups, such as its sales colleagues, or specific groups, such as people across the whole of America via mobile only. Often the tools that deliver a strong article building process also offer good analytics to go on alongside, although this isn't always the case. Other products offer even better analytics, such as First Up and also Staffbase that's presented here. The best products give you information about the performance of your platform overall, but also individual pieces of content, including non-news content such as ideation spaces or community posts. The information presented should be actionable. By that, I mean you should either be able to do something with it immediately or dig down into more detail and answer the burning questions you have. Being able to set targets within the analytics is really helpful too, something Staffbase and a few others will do. ROI is a tricky topic for intranet managers and for communicators. Tools like Staffbase will give you data to prove where they or their content brings value. Ultimately, while Mercio may not be interested in the results related to the whole platform, being able to give him useful data about his content and overall communications campaign will engage him in the publishing process and encourage him to make improvements to content. Kavita, his boss, too, would welcome information relating to her department and how their news pieces are performing. So being able to gather individual articles under the campaign heading of Sales Push 2022 and seeing collated results and analytics would be really valuable for Mercio and Cavita, and I'm sure plenty of you as well. Now, I've only scratched the surface of news functionality, but there are some fun capabilities that I wanted to mention as well. When different users create articles on the internet, it can be difficult for them to see what else is coming soon. Internal comms can struggle to manage the huge flow of news stories as well. Editorial calendars give people like Mercio a way to see what else is due to be published that may distract the people he's trying to reach. You can see an example of that on the left there. Sometimes even the simplest forms end up creating big articles that feel like overkill for a small story. A quick posting option, such as in a news feed, that still allows attachments, plays GIFs in the feed, and offers ghostwriting, will give Mercio even more flexible options to reach his audience in the most appropriate way for them and the story. And of course, post as Kavita if she doesn't have time to do it herself. Lastly, finding the right image for a page and using it in the best way can sometimes be the most difficult part of the publishing process. I know I've spent quite a long time trying to find the right images for PowerPoints just today. Giving Mercio access to the company gallery, Pexels, and other stock photo sites means the images will be of professional standard for one thing. And then inbuilt editing tools means that he doesn't have to have something like Photoshop just to crop the images to fit the nooks and crannies of the intranet for the different spaces that it has. So as I say, I've only mentioned a few vendors, but there are plenty that deliver a good experience for communicators. I've highlighted the ones that really stood out to us here, but overall, internal communicators will be really satisfied with the tools that are on offer across the industry and can look forward to some interesting developments in the products that you may already have. We urge you to explore what's on offer and find out what features really matter to you before you commit to the shiniest product on the market though. So really do your research and decide what is important to you. Not all of these things like audience orchestration will be relevant to you, but they offer some really nice functionality that will help take some of the administrative burden away.
To see all the intranet products and platforms we've expertly evaluated, visit clearbox.co.uk/intranet-report to download the free PDF.